2003, my nephew was over by Birchwood Road and Little Sebago Lake, and he was doing some cutting in here, and he happened to come across Carl Holmquist. They discussed different things, and Carl mentioned that he was the president of the Gray Endowment.
When I introduced myself, he was knowledgeable about what we had done here at Libby Hill, and recommended that we speak with his father and his uncle because they owned a number of abutting properties and had an interest in doing something with a couple of those pieces, either selling the parcels or through a possible donation. And after hearing the donation, my ears perked up.
My brother and I discussed it, and we discussed it with Carl, and we decided that, you know, if this was going to be a recreation area, which makes it a beautiful recreation area, that we had 45 acres up here on top of Libby Hill, that, you know, we could give them the land. The only thing we asked the Gray Endowment to do was, if they built a trail, that they name the trail after our father, Harold T. Libby. We didn't want any recognition ourselves, really. He always loved the land. He'd come out here by himself and just walk through it. And so we just thought it would be nice to name the trail, if they built one, for him.
This memorial that I'm sitting on, we also had a number of days where we'd actually come up and collect rocks from around on the property, and myself and Wayne Wood and Matthew Bourne basically laid out the shape. We had a lot of volunteer evenings. We actually set up every Thursday night that we'd come up here, and we'd have anywhere from 10 to 20 people that would show up for helping cut the trails, and we'd have a couple of people running chainsaws and a couple others that would be lumpers and stacking all the wood. Then we had other days, once we got the bulk of the trail cut, where we'd actually come up with a significantly large chipper that could actually take up to 12-inch trees, and we would funnel as much of the brush through as possible to clean everything all up. Been a big help having a number of local community people to chip in either equipment or, you know, roll up their sleeves and pitch in and help out.
And lo and behold, they built this, and which kind of flabbergasted us, and this is a very fitting tribute to him.
And it's something that every one of them, you know, felt a little bit of pride every day that they'd walk away from the job, that they had actually accomplished something, because they could walk back on the trail that we just cut, and in turn see what they had, you know, what kind of progress that we had made.
Libby Hill Forest Trails is an outstanding asset for Gray and surrounding communities. It has a wide variety of trail ecosystems, a wide variety of trail conditions. You can find the wide, easy to walk on, to very narrow and challenging. So if you want a challenging experience, you can get that here, right in Gray, without having to travel to the White Mountains or up into the Freiburg area. If you want something that's just an afternoon walk, this is a perfect place to do that, because you can get away from the sidewalks and the traffic in town, and it's all 5 minutes from Gray. It's 25 minutes from Portland, 25 minutes from Auburn and Lewiston. It's an incredible thing to have in this location.
One of the cool things about being up here is I come up here on my mountain bike at different hours, and I've had the great opportunity to see wild deer running to and from, seeing wild rabbits, just a whole barrage of birds, from pileated woodpeckers to the common chickadees. Also had the opportunity to witness the beavers down below. So it's really a cool space to come and actually see a lot of the wildlife in their environment.
And the other thing that helps that and helps this is all of this land is a game preserve. So you don't have to worry about hunters or anything like that at any time of year.
This is a real community effort to keep these trails up and running, and it's successful because of the hard work of many volunteers.
The biggest misconception, I think, of Libby Hill is that it's really just a ski trail. And once you come up here on a summer's day, you'll realize that it can be used for so many more things. We have the ability to offer people a multiple array of outdoor experiences, whether it be mountain biking, horseback riding, dog walking, bird watching, geocaching, orienteering. There really is no limit to the types of activities that you can do on Libby Hill.
Recently, we've acquired 29 acres here from Hancock Lumber, and we're in the process of trying to raise money to pay back 5 interim investors for the purchase of that.
The Hancock land is the original portion of the trails that were built by the Gray Endowment. Even though they had donated land, the Hancock land just enhanced their trail system.
Because Libby Hill is comprised of several parcels, our current purchase of the Hancock property is the last piece that we need to pay for, and actually is the only piece we've had to pay for. So for the next 2 years, we're going to be very busy asking trail users in the community to help us save Libby Hill.
As a high school science teacher, I feel very fortunate to have Libby Hill Forest to use as a living classroom. I've done many things here with my classes. We've sat in the woods and had the kids just listen and observe and write down everything they see and hear. I've helped with my class identify trees, and a few years ago we put tree markers out there so that people can take nature walks and identify the trees as they go through the forest.
There are so many different ways to play up here. That's what's really different about it, I think, from a lot of other places.
To me, this is perfect. Where else can you, anywhere around here, come and sit in the woods and can't really hear anything else but the woods?
Here at Libby Hill, we're lucky to have this facility.
And by contributing to this campaign, you'll get to forever guarantee that this property is always available to the public for outdoor recreation.
not so much of a communication issue as much of it is a awareness, I believe, of trying to convince people that projects like this up here at Libby Hill, as well as preserving open space for the community, is going to be something that's going to be a great asset for the community in the long run.